How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. Over on total for the daily, we did make a bounce off our support, but I would watch for a confirmation of a bounce because remember, back here we did break through our resistance area, but then we broke down. Watch for a breakdown from here. If we do that, we could see a trend of that where we continue to break down after trying to pump forward. Our stochastic does want to pull back, RSI is starting to weaken, momentum is rounding, that VWAP does have lower lows and lower highs, and money flow is bullish, but if that VWAP does not gain bullish momentum, then that VWAP and money flow will start to fall more in the bearish territory. So watch for that VWAP to sustain. Remember, that will bring our momentum lower. As momentum starts to round away, our money flow can go from green to red. Usually on these lower time frames, you'll see them go red. Then they'll stay red for quite some time, then the higher time frames will weaken. Over on the 1 hour, we do have a possibility of a double bottom. We are trying to push forward, so if we do not lose these EMAs, we could see a push forward back toward our golden pocket area. However, if we do break these EMAs, I would watch for a break of the 602, because then we could create a bear flag here that could end up breaking us down. Our stochastic does want to pull back, RSI is starting to push away, momentum is rounding, VWAP is pulling back, and money flow is in the green, but if VWAP breaks down and holds bearish, money flow and momentum will fall from here. And remember, as that lower time frame gets weaker, higher time frames can break down over time. Over on the daily for futures, we don't have much, so we're skipping that. We'll go straight to Bitcoin. Remember, futures really doesn't trade on the weekends. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, we are still within our channel from yesterday, so we will cover that on the lower time frames. Stochastic is pulling back, RSI is dropping down, momentum is rounding, VWAP is favoring bearish, so watch that VWAP. If it continues to pull back here, momentum will continue to pull back as well, and then that money flow will start to bend and start to go toward the red, so watch for that to hold in lower time frames. If lower time frames, money flow starts to hold red, then we will tend to weaken those higher time frames over a course of several candles. Back here is probably a good example. We did end up breaking away. That money flow did end up breaking bearish for quite some time. So it's not going to happen instantly, but we do have a rising channel here. This rising channel could end up breaking us down. I would watch. We are having trouble breaking and holding above our EMA band, which we need to do if we're going to see a push forward like back here. Stochastic does want to pull back, RSI is starting to fall, that momentum does want to round with a red dot, VWAP is trying to break down, so watch that VWAP as it is starting to break bearish. If it holds in the bearish territory here, momentum will fall, money flow will weaken, and remember that could weaken those higher time frames. We don't have to get a third touch to the top, usually after the third touch to the bottom is when you see your breakdown, so I would watch that as well as our 300 EMA. So over on graph for the daily, we did break our neckline. We did retest and reject. How's it going, John? I hope you're having a great day. So we did retest and we rejected. Stochastic is pulling back. RSI is starting to drop. VWAP is favoring bearish. Momentum is dropping. And money flow is in the green, but if that VWAP continues to favor bearish, our money flow could reverse, so I would watch lower time frames still. Over on the 1 hour, we do have lower highs here. We do have lower lows as well. So watch if we continue to reject and solidify further lower lows, that could bring us toward that 14,316. Stochastic does want to pull back, RSI is starting to drop, VWAP is pushing down, momentum is rounding, and money flow is in the bearish territory. So again, I would exercise caution. We could have a bearish continuation here. We have lower highs and lower lows that do not connect in this range. Over on Ankr, we'll hop over to the daily. Remember, if you have any requests, drop them in the chat. We'll cover them after we get to ALGO. Over on Ankr for the daily, we do have a rejection of the point control that did bring us below that 2673, so we did fill some gaps, I believe. Stochastic is pulling back, RSI is dropping, VWAP is favoring bearish, momentum is dropping, and that money flow is in the green, but VWAP continues to push down. Money flow will start to round, and we will lose bullish momentum here. Over on the 1 hour, so we'll zoom out. Kind of scroll back here, those gaps I was talking about, we have one right here at that 2583, but we have some previous ones at this like 2498. So that 2498 is probably where we're filling, yeah, right in that area. So now we do have the possibility to continue forward. Remember, gaps have an 80% likelihood to fill, and if you push up without filling them, you do end up revisiting them at least 80% of the time. So that's what we're seeing here. Stochastic does want to pull back, RSI is pretty flat, VWAP does want to break down, but that momentum is starting to break forward. If that VWAP makes a bounce off our neutral, and stays in bullish territory, momentum will bring money flow higher, and we could make a bounce. This could be a double bottom trying to form. So again, watch if we hold this EMA band. If we do, then we can continue forward. If we don't, then we're going to retest our next support of that 23.38. So over on XRP for the daily, we did get that break yesterday that we have been warning about for quite some time. Stochastic is breaking down, RSI is pushing down, VWAP is favoring bearish, momentum is pushing down, and money flow does want to break into the green. But if that VWAP ends up holding bearish on lower time frames, we will see that reverse. Over on the 1 hour, we do have lower highs and lower lows that do not connect. We are trying to make a symmetrical triangle here though, so that could be positive. Remember, that would be a 50-50 pattern. It would give us a retest of the bottom of our channel and a possibility of breaking down as well, so they're kind of hard to trade on. Stochastic does want to pull back, RSI is pushing down, that VWAP is starting to weaken and momentum is rounding with the red dot, so watch that VWAP. If it breaks down, momentum will break lower and that money flow will go from green to red, weakening those higher time frames. So finally on ALGO, unless we have any special requests, remember drop it in the chat. Remember hit the like and subscribe as well if you have not. Stochastic is pulling back on the daily. We are breaking our channel, kind of indecisive. VWAP is pushing down, momentum is pushing down. Money flow does want to push forward, but if that VWAP and momentum remain bearish, we will see money flow start to pull back as well. Remember that money flow will lag behind that VWAP and momentum just because they kind of feed into each other. So over on ALGO for the daily, Stochastic is pretty maxed out. That is positive. That can bring RSI forward, but again, watch it closely because if it starts to round and break down, it will lead us lower. VWAP is in the bullish territory with a higher high, so that is positive, bringing momentum toward neutral. If that VWAP can stay bullish, momentum could break up and money flow could flip into the green. Remember, if that holds for several hours, then we could see our higher time frame strengthen, and we are trying to break back into our EMA band after them spreading apart quite decently. So if we break back into this EMA band and see lower EMAs start to break above each other, we could start to gain bullish traction to push us forward from here. Thank you for watching tonight's video.